Adam, this is a first for Poker Mind because we usually start off by asking questions about like a big live cash. But for you, we're going to start with a big online cash.
Okay.
February 2009, you finished second in the F-Tops 5,000 no limit hold'em event, over $400,000. Tell me about it.
It was pretty lucky.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was, I mean, it kind of just, I don't really know how I got there. It was all just like, kept playing, I was still in. I had a legitimate chance to win. I actually had like a 7, I think, if I lost a huge flip four-handed, and I was just happy to be in second.
Right.
I get second after that.
It's really tough to go deep in those tournaments, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't happen very often.
It was a very, very good field, and there's only been 2 5K F-tops, so
right.
That's pretty cool.
That's your biggest cash to date.
Oh yeah.
Where does it rank among your accomplishments in poker?
I'd say I had never really thought about that actually. I'd say that I think I like the main event more.
Yeah.
Than that, and then the WPT final table will be after that. I'm not really. It's they're all kind of close, you know.
Yeah.
But if I'd won that, it definitely would have been like, you know, above and beyond. Yeah.
All right, let's go back to before poker. You grew up in Florida. What is the best way to describe yourself as a kid?
Well, actually, I was born in New York as a kid, and I moved when I was 11 to Florida. But I was just a fun kid. Just kind of a lot like I am now. I just I just say what's on my mind, and funny, and yeah,
goofy.
Yeah, some people may say that. Yes, I'd say that one thing I did know, and I remember thinking this in like elementary school when I was in like 3rd grade, and I was daydreaming because I obviously couldn't focus on what was going on in the class. Was I just like. When I learned about a 9-to-5 job, I was just like, I just, that was one thing I knew that I wouldn't do, or did not want to do when I was in like 3rd grade. I didn't necessarily know what I wanted to do with it, but that was one of the things that I didn't want to do.
A lot of poker players say that. You know, I don't want a 9-to-5 job either. Who does? But it's funny you were thinking about it in 3rd grade.
I don't know. This was like the first time I had ever, this is what I would think about, like staring out at the clouds in like the 2nd floor of my elementary school. I can remember it pretty vividly.
Tell me about your introduction to poker.
Well, I played Magic for a long time, and then a bunch of my friends, one like August 2003, Moneymaker, Rounders, like during the summer, you know, just everyone started playing and that whole generic thing. But it was initially I didn't want to play, and I was actually like the fish when I started playing, and I just like wanted like, you know, to create my own like way of playing poker. Like this is better, like King 10's better than 8. It was just. You know, it was just really, everything was so new to everyone then.
How old were you then?
It was 2000. I guess I was 22, 21. Yeah, 21.
We asked this question to all the guys who played Magic, just like you. Why do you think people who play Magic successfully transition into poker?
Because you're kind of already prepped for the intense situations. It's not, you know, and it also, I wouldn't say they're exactly on the same, like, you know, kind of, like train of thought, but they're similar. You know, you have to figure out what this guy has. Like you're always playing heads up, also.
Okay.
So you have to figure out what the guy like might be playing, like what he might have at this specific moment, and then you play around it or something like that. So if you think this guy's aces, you like, you know, you obviously would like fold your 10s or something. Right. You know, it's like that.
Do you still play Magic?
Here and there. Yeah. There's a bunch of guys in Panorama that do. So every now and then, I'm sure there'll be a couple Magic drafts going on this summer.
Sweet. At what point did you realize you wanted to be a professional poker player? When was that?
I won my first tournament like within like 6 months, and it was kind of like all of a sudden like it just seemed kind of surreal that I could win that amount of money. It was $6,000, but I mean it was a $100 tournament, and there was nothing like I had even come close to $6,000.
Sure, that's a lot to me.
Yeah. I mean, so after that, but I didn't necessarily go about it the right way to be a poker. I wasn't like a bankroll. I don't know. I wasn't like I grinded free rolls and then like, no. I
moved up a little
I
at a
kind of
time.
lost a bit of money before I, learned a little bit of bankroll management.
You're one of those guys that if you have $100, you're just going to play whatever is $100.
No, I'm not that bad. It was never that bad actually, but it was just it was well, I definitely didn't. I was definitely not the complete opposite of that. Like having $50 and then grinding 5 cent, 10 cent, no limit.
Right.
No.
You eventually dropped out of school.
Yes.
Right?
No, actually, I dropped out before that.
Before?
And I was going back to school, and it started. I just wasn't ever really focused in school. I couldn't really find anything it wasn't that I couldn't do it. I just kind of got caught up in the pitfalls of college.
You knew that in 3rd grade.
I guess so.
All right, give me a brief description of your earliest days as an online grinder.
Well, I'd say when I started grinding, I actually just met Chad Bautista. Because we're both from South Florida, and one of the Magic, the Magic players, they would have they had a card store, and they'd run a poker game in there. And then one day, he showed up. I don't even know. We just hit it off, and we just kind of felt like we understood we were the only people who kind of understood the level of poker that we were talking to each other. It was kind of interesting, actually. And then we just started grinding a lot together, and after that, it was just day in, day out, just playing poker.
That's it. So you're one of those guys, you wake up in the morning, you just start playing, you just order bad food, and you just sit there all day, you never get up.
I think that almost all of poker players have to do that at some point, because I think if you don't, if that's the only thing on your mind, you're going to get good at it. So it's a little obsessive, but if you're obsessing about something, you're actually going to be able to get good at it.
In an interview, you once said, you flushed a lot of money down the toilet when you first started playing. How tough was it to handle swings at that time?
It was, I guess I went broke a few times, but it was not like I still was working, but it was kind of actually a funny little, I'd be a server, and then I'd win $1,000 or something like that, and then I'd start doing well in poker again, and I'm I don't know if I want to serve, and then I'd lose my money. And that happened about 3 or 4 times before I finally just permanently quit my job. But yeah, it was kind of funny how that worked.
Right. You also said that you struggled in the beginning, but that was okay because at the time everyone was learning to play poker then.
Yeah.
Right. So with online poker being so much tougher these days, do you think the grinding and moving up online, is that over?
No.
No?
No. It's just, things are tougher. But
a lot tougher, right?
Yeah. But I think that because it's tougher, people are learning, when you're an amateur's learning, way more advanced than an amateur was 4 or 5 years ago.
Right.
So there's still going to be, new guys coming up and that, every now and then, but there's going to be, there's going to be a lot of them who just kind of come up and then just lose it all. But, yeah, it's definitely tougher.
Do you think it's better to learn online than to learn live?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yes and no. I think if you really want to get good, online's the way to go. But if you want to learn the whole, all aspects of poker, live poker can take a little bit to get down. I think in 2006 I went 0 for 17.
Yeah.
At the World Series. So it wasn't because I didn't have the ability. It was because I was kind of inept with live poker. Some people get it, some people just don't, and I didn't for a year or so, and then I guess things started to click.
Ruthless, where'd the nickname come from?
It was actually an Xbox Live moniker, and I wanted to think. I just wanted to think of something really cool, So I just decided to spell ruthless phonetically instead of the way it's supposed to be spelled, and it just seems cool. I don't know.
Right, and that just stuck. Yeah. What was the hardest thing about making the transition from online to live? The hardest thing?